invite our next speaker, Councillor Sade Bright. She'll be speaking to us about overcoming gender, ethnicity, and barrier to leadership.
Thank you. Good afternoon, everyone. I'm Councillor Sade Bright, I'm Cabinet Member for Employment, Skills and Aspiration. I'm from the BME community, and I'm also from Barking and Dagenham in London. How many of us identify with that? I just want to say thank you to the Deputy Mayor and councillors from Doncaster. Thank you for having me at this august event. I'm so excited to be here. I'm so excited to be here in Doncaster. I was looking through Doncaster Borough Council yesterday, went everywhere. You have one of the best shopping malls, I must say. And I said I'll come back, definitely I'll come back. Lovely shopping mall. And I'm sure there are other good things in Doncaster. So thanks for having me. Right, I'm talking about overcoming gender and ethnicity barriers to leadership. At this BME Empowerment Summit 2019, Rule Your World. Okay. Just quickly, I'm Councillor Sade Bright. I'm currently Councillor for Chadwell Heath Ward in Dagenham. I'm Cabinet Member for Employment, Skills and Aspiration. I was former Cabinet Member for Equalities and Cohesion. I was former Civic Mayor of Hackney, 2006-2007. I've been in political leadership for over 20 years now. My background is in strategic HR, so I'm an HR professional. I was in HR for 20 years, and I'm still in HR in consulting. I'm founder of the Penny Charity for the Elderly. I'm a co-pastor of the Redeemed Christian Church of God, and I'm the author of a book, an award-winning book, Dream Big, Stretch Your Boundaries. Just like I said, I've been in politics since year 2000. And what propelled me to go into politics is very simple. I'm a Christian, and I was at an event in the church, and my pastor then preached and said something about, we are in the community and all we do is complain about the government not doing well, this not happening, something not going on well. What can you do to make your community better? And I remember sitting with my husband that year, and I said, you know what, I think Pastor is talking about me. Because prior to then, to getting involved in politics, I complained about everything. I moan about everything. Oh, my child's school bag is not properly put in, the books are not properly in the bag. I moan about everything. So when my husband said, Pastor is actually talking about you, you need to do something. If something is not right, then I think you need to get involved and move it, get it better. So I got home that day and I said, okay, I want to get involved in the community. I wasn't thinking about politics, in fairness. I just wanted to be a school governor. So I was going to approach my school head teacher and put myself forward to be a school governor. But something just said, no, you could, I'm sure you could, you have time in your hand and you could do better. So I decided, okay, I was going to research into politics and just find out which political party I could belong to. But as God would have it, I decided I read all the manifestos and I went in and I became a member of the Labour Party. And I have been for over 20 years. And So I started out in politics in Hackney. So in 2002, I was elected onto the council. So I became a councillor. But I remembered when I started in 2000, I said to my colleagues on the council, I said, you know what? Before 4 years, I actually want to be mayor. So my colleague, then, at that time, if you look at the representation in Hackney, they were mostly white, Caucasian, so it wasn't really typical of a black woman to be the mayor. But wasn't that it's a criticism, it's just that we were not on the council. You've got to be on the council to put yourself forward to be mayor. So I then decided, okay, so I went on, started in politics. 2003, I became chair of the Labour group. And then in 2006, I went back on the council. Obviously, I won the election, and then I was deputy mayor, and then became mayor in 2006, 2007. And I was the first Nigerian, and certainly first African, to be mayor in Hackney. And this I did till about 2010. So in 2010, I moved Borough. I went into Barking and Dagenham. One of the reasons why I moved Borough then was because I had to settle my children into school and, and so many other issues. So I wasn't on the council from 2010 to 2014. So I got back on the council in 2015. And the reason why I'm saying this is because so many times we think we can't be involved in politics, especially people from the black and minority ethnic. We think that being in politics belongs to a certain group of people. No, we can be involved. And the reason why this conference is called is so that we can empower ourselves. It's so that we can tell each other that we can do it. It's so that we can tell each other that if I can be involved in politics, you can. Because no one is writing it on anyone's head to say you're going to be a politician, you're going to be a politician. No, it's not. You have to be convinced in your mind that you want to help people in the community. You want to help those whose voice are not heard. You want to be their voice. You want to be the voice of the helpless. And that's what our party stands for. You want to be a voice for the voiceless. And that was one of the reasons why I joined the Labour Party, because that's what we know to do more. So I've said, so that's a bit about me. And how can you overcome barriers as a BME person? I said, number one, you've got to believe in yourself. What can you do? Who are you? What do you know to do? What are the skills that you've been endowed with? What are your talents? All these things are things you can use in the community. You've got to be a people person, someone who is ready to help, who wants to be part of the community, who wants to change the status quo, someone who you're fed up of the way things are, and you want to move forward, you want to see how you can effect change. And we had our brother over there. I was so impressed by what he was saying, because that means he's involved. He hasn't separated himself. He's made himself known to the council and is helping the council to shape policies and procedures. So what are we doing? Some of us, what are we doing? And just like myself in those days, I would sit down and complain. But I said, no, I'm not complaining anymore. I want to be part of the change makers. I want to be part of those who will make the policies and procedures. And what some of us don't realize is, in your local community, that's where all the decisions are made. Decision over your child's school, decision over your housing, planning application, your social care, health and social care, adult social care. Every decision over us is made in our local council. And yet, we're not involved. So what are you doing? That's my question to you. What are you doing? Are we busy complaining? Thank you, Pastor. We're busy working. Yes, it's good to work, and we're not knocking that. But those extra hours that we have, instead of being on social media, why can we not be part of the council? Why can we not put ourselves in one of the commissions that the council is looking for volunteers? Why can we not volunteer? Every everything is not money. But our communities, you have to work, it's the work. And that's the excuse again. Even when I go to talk in churches, in faith organizations, it's about, oh, you know, Councillor, we have to work. It's more than work. It's more than work. Please let us get involved. You know, there's an adage that says, you have to, it's when you give that you receive. It's not all the time receiving from the local community. What are you giving? What's your time that you're spending in giving and helping to shape these policies and procedures? I said build networks, challenge inequalities. We've had the deputy mayor have just spoken this afternoon, and we've had people asking him questions. That's how it should be. And one thing I took from him is the fact that he said, we're not there yet, but we are getting there. And that is the true mark of a leader. Please, let's give him a clap. That is the true mark of a leader. He's not displeasing everyone. He's not saying what you're saying is nonsense. He's not saying that. He said, yes, we are helping, we're shaping through your information, through what you're saying, through what you're telling us. We're using it as the landmark. We're shaping the future. We're shaping the future. He hasn't dismissed any of us. I listened to everything he said, every single statement from our deputy mayor, positive statement. And we need to appreciate. Let's give him a round of applause. I said we need to recognize success. We must always be learning and developing ourselves, even as BME community. So much time we complain that we're being sidelined. So much time we complain that we're being left behind. I was speaking to Dr. Dayo Olomu this morning when we were in the breakfast cafe, and we were talking, and we said sometimes BME community we complain that we're being sidelined. We complain this is not happening. But sometimes we're not even helping ourselves, because we're not developing ourselves. So many opportunities, even on the council, and that's why I'm so happy with my brother at the back. Sorry, I don't know your name, but he came to Doncaster Council 8 months ago. But he's opened his eyes, he's looked through, he's researched, he's seen what can be helpful to him, he's latched onto it, and he's been successful at getting what he wants. Some of us sit down and we expect the council to come to us. No, that time has gone. Council is not going to come. We've got to get ourselves, go to the council, find out what they have that we will benefit from. Because, as the deputy mayor said, and I'm from the council, our budget has been slashed. The council cannot provide everything. And that's why we have communities, that's why we have charities, that's why we have organizations within the community that will help the council. We've got, it's now a different phenomenon where you're talking about council doing everything. It's now about partnership. It's now about collaboration. It's now about working together. It's now about what can we do to help each other. It's no longer the council has to. The council has to. The language has to change. It's what can we do together to make our council work? How can we achieve together? And that is the language. And from the BME committee, I'm challenging us today, that should be our language. Let's not sit there and pity party and say the council hasn't done it. They are marginalizing us. It's because we're the black and ethnic. No, it's changing. Let's see what we, even as a community, what are we doing to help the council? What are we doing? And that's why I'm so happy with Reverend Dolly. Let's give her a clap. Let's give her a round of applause. Because this summit is so important. Bringing all of us together is so important to say that even as a BME community, we are resourceful. There is something we can even do for ourselves. Collaborating, coming together, giving ourselves a voice. This voice will now be represented on the council. So if the council wants to do anything now for the BME community, they know where to go, they know who who to contact. They know what our challenges are, what we need help with. But if this doesn't happen, where do you expect the council to go? So that's why I'm so excited, Reverend Dolly, and thank you for this, for what you have done and what you will continue to do. And I'm sure you will continue to work with the council to make the services and to shape the services for our BME community in Doncaster. Thank you very much. And I want to say that, can we move to the next? I said, believe in yourself. I said, whatever you cannot perceive, you cannot conceive it. And whatever you are unable to conceive, you cannot achieve it. I said, often the biggest barrier is yourself. Is we ourselves, it's the BME community. We're the ones, I said in my book, Dream Big, it's precisely about power and belief, and how with the right mindset, you can do anything. High esteem is key. To be a leader, you have to believe you can get there and feel like an imposter when you need to. You need to get yourself ahead of what you're able to do. I mean, I know some people ask me, they still ask me, oh, you are a leader, you are a church leader, you are a cabinet member, you are this, you are that, and how are you able to manage?
You say you look fresh.
And thank you, Pastor. And how are you able to manage it? It's because we need to prioritize. Yeah. We need to know what's important. We need to know what to do. And what is important is that we get involved in our community. Know what is happening around you. Know about your children's school. Do you know some BME parents don't even know their child's class? They don't know what class their children are. In fact, they don't know the curriculum that their children are going through. But they leave everything to the school because it's the responsibility. Yes, it's the responsibility of the school, but we parents as well, or carers, we have responsibility to make sure that we work with the schools, our head teachers, so that our children can achieve. And that's what so as a leader, and we are leaders in our own rights. In your home, you are a leader. Where you work, in your career, you are a leader. In your community, you are a leader. And so as BME people, we are leaders and we can champion causes for those who are unable to champion for themselves. So I said building networks. It is important for us, for you to be a leader. In this century, you've got to build networks. It's important. Who you know is important. Where you go is important. The network, the association you keep is important to make you or break you. But as BME community, what are the contacts that we're making? I said everyone in your life should be a positive influence. Everyone in your life. So some of us here have met Reverend Dolly, some of us have met the deputy mayor, some of us have met our mayor here, and I just want to say, protocol was even, I don't know why I have not even said we should give a clap offering to our mayor. We have our mayor here. Let's just give him a... Our civic mayor is here. Yes, our civic mayor is here. All right, so yes, what network do we have? What network do we belong to? I belong to a lot of network, and that's what keeps me on the leadership scale. It keeps me there. I belong to the LGA Leadership Academy Cohort, Association of British Nigerian Councillors, Association of London Mayors Association, and London Labour Mayors Association. Founder of the Penny Charity, so I belong to the charity network. I belong to the faith community in the borough. I actually run faith community in the borough. I'm a fellow of the Chartered Institute of Personnel and Development. I'm a leader in the community, Barking and Dagenham Community Leaders Network, Redeemed Pastors Network, President and founder of Flourishing Women, School Governors Network. You've got to have networks. And these are the networks that will help you, that will propel you. Okay. All right. I understand the mayor is coming in now. So if everybody can stand up and we can, right, okay, we change mayor, in May. Okay. Please let's appreciate our mayor. Councillor BME. have you, ma'am.
I'm fine, thank you.
Please be seated. Your Worshipful, my name is Sade Bright and I'm a councillor from Dagenham. So I was just talking about the just encouraging our BME group and just also saying thank you to Doncaster Council for all that you're doing for the BME community. So I said we've got to challenge inequalities. So as a BME women face barriers. We cannot act as individuals. We must work together to address change in society and by addressing inequalities and injustice. In Dagenham, I launched the Gender Equality Charter in 2016, the first of its kind in the local government. It's a local action plan to improve women's representation in politics, in business, in industry, and in education. And I'm proud to say that out of my academy, the political academy, I'm able to mentor 5 councillors five ladies, women, who are currently councillors. And one of the youngest councillors in Dagenham is my daughter. She's actually a councillor at 22. And she's the youngest chair of the audit committee that the council has ever produced. So what I'm trying to say is that as women or as men from the BME community, we can rise to be leaders and lead others to be leaders. So when we become leaders, we now look forward to how we can empower others to become leaders. So in empowering those other 5 councillors now, they have now become leaders in the community. And I'm sure they will go on to empower others. And that's how us as BME community, that's how we can help each other. And that's how we can empower each other. And we can empower ourselves and empower other people. I've said I raise gender awareness of issues and promote equal treatment for everyone. And I also help to improve health and socio-economic outcomes for women. The charter currently in the London Borough of Dagenham has been signed by 300 signatories and for businesses who have pledged support to support women, to support BME, and support businesses, schools, charities, and football clubs have all signed to the Gender Equality Charter. So as a leader, you must always look forward to what can you do? What problem is there in the community that you want to resolve? Those are the things that you should be looking out to do. So I said, we've also put spotlight on women. I think with my kind of leadership, I want to empower women. And I established what you call the Women's Empowerment Month in the borough. And it's a long 1-month activity where at the end of the day, we end it up with an award for women, outstanding women in the community. And I'm sure some people are here from back in Dagenham who can witness to this. It's one of the best events that we do on the council. And that's empowering women. We need to empower us women. We also need to empower everyone, regardless of whether they're women, they're men, but we also realize that sometimes women are marginalized, and so we need to empower ourselves and make sure that we are at the forefront of whatever we're doing. So we're recognizing success and inclusion. So, just a bit about what we also need to do. I said there's the Sapphires group of women that I mentor, and I also mentor young people. So currently in my leadership academy, I have 200 young people that are going through my leadership academy, and it's all for free. As long as they're interested in helping their community, as long as they want to go into, personally, I actually want people to go into politics, because I believe, even in your local community, the politicians dictate, they make decisions. They are there. They're the ones who shape the local community in which you live. So why can you not be part of the decision makers? There's no reason why we can't. But so many times we exclude ourselves. We think it's for a certain group of people. It's not. We can all be involved. We can all get ourselves involved. And if we think we're too old, that's why I've now moved to young people. Because young people's mind needs to be shaped. We, coming from London, we see all that, we hear all that is happening. Gun and knife crime. If we have a way of which we can shape the minds of our young people to become positive, then all those other things, they will not think of it. And that's why when I see young people, I want to invest in them. I want to see how they can become involved in their community, whether in business, in career, in apprenticeship, whatever they can do. How can we support them? And that's my kind of leadership. So leaders must see what is the problem and how can you help to resolve the problem? How can you help to solve the problem? How can you help to contribute, to make sure that the problem does not perpetuate? And that's it. So in as much as having that project, said I found it extraordinary, a project here to mentoring young people and leading them into making sure that they're in leadership, training and empowering them to take up leadership roles in their community. And there are currently over 200 young people benefiting from this project. I have received several awards, both in the UK, abroad, and I was voted Councillor of the Year in year 2006, a long time ago, at the Gathering of Africans Best. I said in my Facebook page last week, I think 2 weeks ago, I said this would be, I won an award, and I said that was my 75th award. But I've actually received another award last week, which now makes it 76 awards. And that is awards won internationally, nationally, and even in the local setting. But it's not about awards. It's about how are you contributing to the people that you're meeting. What will be your legacy when you leave this stage? What will be your legacy when I always ask myself, Sade, what will be your legacy as a councillor when you leave back in Dagenham? I knew what my legacy was when I left Hackney. I was on the Hackney Council for 8 years. And in those 8 years, I was mayor, I was deputy mayor, I was chair of Labour Group. So I left a legacy to the fact that when I was leaving Hackney to move to another borough, I couldn't tell my residents I was leaving. Every time they asked me a question, I knew I was going to leave, but there was no way I could face them because I left a legacy of helping, of communicating with them, of helping, of doing their casework, of running my surgery effectively. I left a legacy of, even now if I go to Hackney, you would know that someone has arrived in Hackney. That's not pride. That's the fact that you have left a mark, an indelible mark in the lives of people. So as we're sitting there, even as BME, you would ask yourself, what will be your legacy? So if you left Doncaster today to move to another place, what will be your legacy? What will people say about you? And I'm sure as deputy leader, he probably will be asking himself, what will be my legacy when I leave Doncaster? As the mayor of Doncaster, she will be asking herself, after my 1 year in office, what will be my legacy? What will people remember me for? What will those associations, what will those community groups that I visit or that I have interaction with, my charities, what will they remember me for? Would I be able to raise funds for them? Those will be some of the questions that will be on her mind now. So we ask ourselves, what would be our legacy? And in Dagenham, as a leader, I'm asking myself, I'm cabinet member for employment, skills and aspiration. I want to be able to ask myself, how many young people or how many people within the borough have I helped into employment, or have I used my interaction or my networking to help into employment? Those are the kind of questions you should be asking. We should be asking ourselves. It's not, like I said, it's not about awards. It's good for us to get those awards, but when we get the awards, you're asking yourself, what do you actually deserve this award, and in what legacy are you leaving? And that's what's important to me. And it's 2016. I decided, yes, I've got to, I think I'm leaving a legacy in terms of politics, but I also want to leave a legacy in terms of helping the older people. And I decided to form a charity. So I have a registered charity that is called the Penny Charity. The Penny Charity is for the elderly, and we do everything, making sure that the elderly are not left behind. And the objective of the Penny Charity is to relieve the needs to and to promote the good health and well-being of the elderly in the UK. And I said every year Penny Charity is committed to bringing its dreams to fruition by touching the lives of hundreds of people. Through its many provisions, Penny Charity draws the elderly from every walk of life to be part of a fun-loving community and to give back what they so lovingly gave to us as in their generation. And you know, the elderly, they've done so much for us. So the elderly, my mantra is the elderly matter.